Well, Tom Abell, good battling performance today in the second innings, but would it be fair to say it was that first innings of just 137 that cost you the game?
Yeah, without a doubt. Obviously, the wicket certainly wasn't a wicket that you should be bowled out for 140. It had its challenges in terms of it being sort of very difficult to score, but of course we expect more on that sort of surface. There wasn't a huge amount of seam movement in it, but obviously they're a high quality attack. But yeah, that's sort of no excuse. We obviously that's where the game was lost. And yeah, I guess coming into today, or at the start of our second innings, it was just a case of trying to apply ourselves the best we can, and obviously look to bat time and try and sort of salvage some sort of result from this. And yeah, I thought the boys stuck at it really well today. But yeah, just disappointing. On the first day, I think the first two sessions, we were in a really good position, and then probably didn't quite maintain it in that final session. But yeah, of course, with the bat in the first innings, that's where the game was probably decided.
Good partnership this morning between Tom Coder-Cadmore and James Rew. Did you feel at lunchtime, when Somerset were 200 for 4, having just lost the 2 wickets in the morning session, did you feel then that you could get through to the draw? Yeah,
I mean, we certainly had belief that we could sort of get a result. But of course, we've all played plenty of cricket. We know that, sort of especially with the spin that was on offer, it certainly wasn't going to be easy. As you say, those two played brilliantly and sort of played the conditions really well, took really good options. But yeah, there was always sort of a ball that would spin, and it certainly wasn't a case of when you're in it's easy. But yeah, of course we were always sort of up against it in the second innings. So yeah, just pretty disappointing. But as you say, there were some bright sparks. I thought Ooms played really well both innings. Dicko obviously second innings. That partnership was really pleasing. And obviously Brooksy's 5 for it as well. It's awesome for him.
How much of a factor is the fact that you batsmen have played no red ball cricket at all for best part of 6 weeks? How difficult is it to come back, to face the likes of Keith Barker and Moa Bass and Kyle Abbott when you've had so little red ball cricket?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. Obviously, any time you face an attack of their quality, it's going to be a good test. As you say, we've had limited sort of red ball cricket, but that's the same for every team. So I think we get used to it in the season as well, like adapting between the different formats. And the biggest thing is obviously the sort of mental shift and adapting your game from T20 cricket, obviously, to 4-day cricket. But equally within that, we want to try and get the best out of people individually, and it's certainly not a case of trying to bat in one certain way. You still want guys, the likes of TKC to have the freedom to put pressure on the opposition. But of course, it's always finding the right balance, and particularly on a wicket that was tricky to score, I think we obviously didn't strike that balance right in the first innings.
Now you've got a week off now before a home game against Kent. How are you going to spend that week? What are you going to be focusing on?
Yeah, well, I think we'll have a few days off. Obviously, it's been a pretty physical 4 days here. Obviously, we haven't played any red ball cricket as well. So we'll have a few days off, obviously dust ourselves down. It's disappointing, but we've got to try and step up in the last 2 games. And yeah, I think we'll come together early next week. And, from a batting point of view, it's trying to sort of, gain that clarity again in terms of our game plans and how we're looking to score. And obviously trying to find that right blend of defence and attack.
You worried it's all about your own form?
Yeah, I mean, I've been more to be honest, it's more sort of white ball cricket. We played white ball cricket the last month, and yeah, look, my expectations are high of myself, and anytime you don't get runs, I'm certainly not content. So yeah, I'm not happy with my own form, of course. I'm not happy with how I'm batting, but I guess it's down to me over the next sort of 10 days or so to put that right and make sure I'm in a place to perform against Kent.
Lovely. Thanks very much.